Ever walked into an Amish home and felt a unique freshness in the air, almost as if you were outside? They don't rely on modern ventilation systems, yet the air inside feels cleaner than most of ours. When I first stepped into an Amish home, I was struck by the crispness of the air, reminiscent of the cool breeze you get when opening a window early in the morning. Surprisingly, there were no fans, no air filters humming, and definitely no air conditioners puffing out cold air. How do they achieve this? Well, they've got a simple, brilliant trick: plants. I've always loved having a few potted plants around, maybe more than a few. But to the Amish, plants serve more than just decorative purposes. They seem to understand what we often overlook. Plants are nature's ultimate air fresheners. As I walked through a room packed with ferns, peace lilies, and all sorts of plants, I could feel the difference in the air. It was cleaner, sharper. These plants were hard at work filtering the air, absorbing pollutants, and releasing fresh oxygen like little green machines. And it's not just a feeling. Studies show that indoor plants can eliminate up to 87% of toxins from the air within 24 hours. It was eye-opening. Why spend on expensive air purifiers when a few well-placed plants can do the job just as well, if not better? The Amish seem to have known this all along, quietly watching as we invest in gadgets that don't work half as effectively. They've mastered the art of fresh, healthy air without modern devices. It got me thinking about our modern lifestyles. We're constantly marketed devices to improve air quality, while the Amish keep things simple with a few well-cared-for plants. It's simplicity that makes you rethink how you manage your home environment. Why rely on fancy tech when Mother Nature offers us effective solutions for free? My grandmother always said, "Keep it simple, and you'll keep it right." The Amish, with their plant-filled homes, seem to embody that wisdom. But there's something else plants bring: a calming presence. They don't just clean the air, they create a peaceful ambiance. I'm not one to go all Zen garden on you, but there's definitely a mood-enhancing quality to plants. In that room, I felt a sense of calm, as if the space was breathing along with me. That's perhaps the magic of it. The Amish know how to turn a living space into a sanctuary that connects you with nature. Another thing that stands out in Amish homes is their love for big windows. Not the small, decorative ones, but large, functional ones that serve a real purpose. While many of us keep our windows closed and rely on air conditioning, the Amish keep theirs wide open. They transform their homes into natural breeze highways, allowing air to flow freely from one side to the other. I remember standing in a room with windows on opposite walls, feeling as if nature itself was running the ventilation. It's incredible what a bit of cross-ventilation can do. You might wonder, doesn't it get too drafty? Well, the Amish have mastered timing. In warmer months, they open their windows to maximize airflow without creating a wind tunnel. And when I say maximize, I mean it. Some rooms have several strategically placed windows to catch the slightest breeze. It's an approach that leaves even the best HVAC systems in the dust. Nothing I've experienced compares to that naturally cool, fresh air. There's something about this old-school method of cooling that's inspiring. Our ancestors lived just fine by cracking a window or two, but we've grown so accustomed to sealed, air-conditioned spaces that we forget how refreshing natural airflow can be. It's as if we've been sold the idea that fresh air only comes from machines, while the Amish are quietly enjoying nature's original, maintenance-free air conditioning. In fact, cross-ventilation can actually lower indoor temperatures by several degrees. So, while the rest of us turn up the AC, the Amish are simply adjusting their windows to let the air do its thing, cooling their homes the natural way. It's like they've unlocked a simple but effective life hack, one that connects their homes with the world around them. And if you ever get the chance to visit an Amish home, you'll understand. You'll step in, breathe deeply, and wonder why you ever thought you needed more than a few houseplants and some open windows to keep your space fresh and alive. The Amish have understood for generations how to create natural airflow in their homes. When I spoke to an Amish man, he explained how it's not just the windows, it's the entire layout of the house that works in harmony. They've built their homes with a specific design to let fresh air move through, creating a comfortable atmosphere without the need for modern systems. Meanwhile, many of us are fussing with thermostats, while they simply let nature do the work. Inspired, I've started opening my own windows more often, choosing fresh air over artificial ventilation. It's amazing how something as simple as a window can change everything, and it's free. If you're feeling stuffy, try skipping the AC and open a window or two. You might notice the difference, Amish style. On another note, there's a book by Claude Davis on 126 superfoods and preservation methods from difficult times like the Great Depression. We decided to recommend it because we're part of the last generation that can pass these valuable techniques to our kids and grandkids. This knowledge on nutrient-rich foods and survival skills is worth preserving. Nicole Apollon's book on herbal remedies is another great resource you can find in our Frugal Solutions channel's store link. The Amish build homes with natural ventilation in mind, almost as if they're choreographing airflow. Each detail, from wide hallways to tall ceilings, plays a role in keeping the house comfortable. When you walk into an Amish home, you notice how spacious it feels, even without being overly large. Those high ceilings are practical too. They allow hot air to rise while cooler air stays below. It's a thoughtful design that doesn't rely on electricity. Instead, it relies on principles that work quietly and efficiently. This isn't a new idea. It's ancient wisdom from a time when homes were designed to work with nature. The Amish haven't let that tradition go. They understand how placing a home to catch a breeze or orienting walls just right can reduce the need for extra ventilation. As you walk through, you notice a quiet movement as hallways act like air highways, guiding in cool breezes and releasing stale air. It makes you wonder why we're so reliant on technology when a smart layout can do the same job. Their approach to cooling is ingenious too, especially without electricity. The Amish use hand-cranked fans and wind catchers, bringing a touch of cleverness to natural cooling. Hand-cranked fans give you a breeze while giving your arms a mini workout, and wind catchers are placed just right to funnel fresh air into the home. I was surprised when I visited an old farmhouse with a similar setup. At first, the idea of cranking my own fan seemed like a gimmick, but it was actually enjoyable. Plus, the breeze felt that much better knowing you made it happen by hand. It's impressive how the Amish have perfected a system using just a few simple tools and thoughtful design. While we're busy pressing buttons on remotes, they're simply positioning windows, cranking a fan, and enjoying the fresh air as nature intended. This kind of intentional design gives a refreshing perspective on what cooling and comfort can mean. And with each breeze that flows through, they show us that sometimes the best solutions are the simplest. Not only are your arms getting a workout, but you're also creating your own refreshing breeze. It's like a 2-for-1 deal. The Amish blend simplicity with practicality. When the power goes out, they're calmly cranking fresh air while our electric fans gather dust. And who needs a gym when you've got a fan that tones your arms with each crank? One of the Amish's understated yet ingenious methods for keeping fresh air indoors lies in the walls of their homes. They use natural, porous wood that breathes in its own way. Wood may not be alive, but it still allows air and moisture to pass through. Instead of synthetic materials that seal in stale air, the Amish rely on untreated wood that absorbs excess moisture in humid weather and releases it when the air dries out. It's almost as if these wooden walls are carrying out a natural balancing act, keeping air fresh and comfortable. This approach takes me back to childhood summers spent at my grandparents' cabin. Even with the windows closed, the air always felt fresh, thanks to those same wooden walls that seemed alive. Research supports this, showing that wooden homes, especially those with natural wood, maintain healthier air quality. Wood's natural ability to absorb humidity not only improves airflow but also reduces mold risk, a problem many of us tackle with dehumidifiers. And let's be honest, dehumidifiers do the job, but they lack the charm of a beautifully crafted Amish-style wooden home. The Amish are definitely onto something. There's no high-tech gadgetry in their homes, yet they breathe naturally, helping you feel refreshed. Their approach to home building is almost meditative. They carefully choose materials and let nature work in harmony with design. This method not only results in homes that stand strong for generations, but creates an indoor atmosphere where the air feels clear and clean. It's like the house is alive in a comforting way, enhancing each breath. In a world filled with synthetic products, the Amish stick to essentials. They avoid materials with VOCs, volatile organic compounds, found in paints, finishes, and some cleaning products. VOCs are what give fresh paint its strong smell and can cause everything from headaches to respiratory issues. In modern homes, VOC levels are sometimes 10 times higher than outside air. Instead, the Amish opt for natural materials like milk paint, which is both eco-friendly and gives a soft, timeless finish to their homes. And their wood interiors not only balance humidity, but also help keep the air naturally clean, acting like an air purifier without the need for electricity or filters. The Amish's secret to a healthier home environment is straightforward. They're intentional about what goes into their homes. While many of us rush for the latest in air quality technology, the Amish find everything they need in nature's simplest materials. The Amish take a refreshingly straightforward approach when it comes to creating a healthy home environment. Rather than reaching for sprays or stylish furniture laden with questionable chemicals, they stick with what's natural. Walk into an Amish home, and the most prominent scent is often that of wood polish, a far cry from the chemical-laden air of modern spaces. You might be tempted to ask if they've got some secret air cleansing formula, but it's all about smart, traditional choices. When your biggest concern about air quality is whether the polish is organic or simply natural, you know you're on the right track. Their choices reflect a focus on true essentials: fresh air, natural materials, and a close connection to the earth. The next time you're in a stuffy room, consider skipping the air freshener or fan and cracking a window instead. It may help you feel a bit more like the Amish, connected to the world outside, relaxed, and breathing freely. When it comes to building and furnishing their homes, the Amish go hands-on, choosing materials that promote a clean, breathable environment. Using untreated wood for walls and beams means their homes are both sturdy and free from harsh chemicals often found in processed materials. Imagine walking into a room that smells of fresh pine instead of the synthetic smell of factory-made furniture. It's no contest. They also prefer organic textiles like cotton and wool for furniture and decor, avoiding the harmful off-gassing common with synthetic fabrics, so the air stays fresh and pure. It's comforting to know that with Amish furniture, you can relax deeply without worrying about fumes from synthetic cushions. Their dedication to natural materials extends to rugs and curtains, often made from unprocessed fibers. This choice minimizes indoor pollutants, creating a cozy, welcoming space that feels like a warm hug rather than a stale enclosure. It's like the difference between real butter and artificial spread. Natural just feels, and often is, better. By surrounding themselves with organic materials, the Amish create homes that look inviting and actually promote a healthy indoor environment. Their spaces are a breath of fresh air, quite literally. In a world where fresh air is typically manufactured through ventilation systems and artificial purifiers, the Amish remind us that simplicity, natural materials, and thoughtful design can accomplish the same thing with elegance and ease. Their homes are designed for airflow and seasonal harmony, providing an inviting, pleasant environment without fancy gadgets or complex systems. Their commitment to living in rhythm with nature fosters a lifestyle deeply connected to the world around them. So, if you're ever feeling stuffy or need some air, maybe it's time to take a page from the Amish playbook. Fresh air doesn't have to come with instructions or tech. It often just requires an open window, a touch of nature, and the willingness to let the outdoors in.